kumita online kahit hindi ka techie. May mura at hindi masakit sa bulsa na paraan para makapagsimula ka sa sarili mong online store. Tumatanggap rin ito ng credit cards and cash on delivery para sa mga orders. Nakakonekto sa mga kilalang delivery providers sa Pilipinas. At higit sa lahat, wala ka nang kailangang bayaran na interes at commission sa bawat benta. San ka pa? Gusto mo yon? Gusto ko yan!
Paano mo nasabi?
Lahat yan magagawa ng online store builder ng Prosperna.
Sige, masubukan nga. Paano ba simulan?
Ang gagawin nyo lang ay mag-setup ng account, mag-upload ng logo, at maglagay ng mga products. In just one click, konektado na agad ang mga payment at delivery partners nyo. Pwedeng-pwede na kayo sa e-commerce sa halagang abot kaya.
Ganun ba?
Ganun talaga! Kaya book ka na ng free demo at simulan na ang online negosyo para dumami pa ang benta. Lahat ng yan bigay sa iyo ng numero 1 online store builder ng Pilipinas. Mag-prosper na sa Prosperna!
Hi everyone, this is Justin once again, and we're back for another episode of Digital Happy Hour, where we discuss the latest digital trends, news, and tips to help the Philippine MSMEs. So today we will know the story and journey of ContentDash, and joining us today is Fleire Castro of 30 Media and ContentDash. So she's a digital marketing consultant and the founder of 30 Media, which is a social media and digital agencies that help corporate and marketing teams reach their business goals through marketing campaign, and ContentDash, a social media CMS tool that help brands and content creators create content better and faster. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the CEO of Prosperna, Dennis Velasco, and Fleire Castro, founder of ContentDash.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Justin. And hey, Fleire, what's going on?
Hey, Dennis. Glad to be part of
Welcome.
your show. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always good, always good. And wow, you're looking really sharp today, and you look like a
Right?
professional vlogger. And I like your whole, I like your whole look there. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, so here we are, Digital Happy Hour. And it's all about helping and empowering the Philippine MSMEs. But before we get into all the fun stuff, I was just looking back and thinking how you and I met. And I swear we had met at a traditional conference. It might have been a digital marketing conference. It could have been a startup conference. But do you remember?
Well, actually, I'm always in Manila. Like, I'm often in Manila, but it might be because you visited Cebu. We have like some tech events here related to startups, related to digital marketing. So in a way, we're always in the same community. So perhaps, but for sure, it's Startup PH, that group on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
brings people
Well,
together.
that's a huge testament that, we have built this relationship for the last couple years online. And,
Right.
I don't even remember, we might not have ever met in the old traditional sense, but I think that in itself is a good testament to how people can connect with potential business partners and customers if you're out there authentically building relationships online. Now you
Exactly.
mentioned Cebu. Tell us how is everything going in Cebu? What's life like right now in Cebu?
Well, yeah, luckily we don't have a second wave. So the last time we had a like strict lockdown, that was like last year. So we're lucky. Things here are good. Businesses are thriving. They're trying to get back on their feet. So yeah, it's still strict, but better than last year, definitely. I hope you guys are fine there. How's life on your end?
Ay, nako. Justin, kumusta?
Well, actually, kaka-announce lang na we're now in GCQ from
Super GCQ
MECQ.
daw, di ba? Super. They use that
Yeah,
word.
pero parang wala na ring difference eh. Hindi na rin natin alam yung difference eh. Of MECQ, GCQ.
The way I look at it is I think the second time people I think might have taken it a little bit more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I have heard of a lot more close to home cases. And so people are like, it's just hitting them harder and having them accept the realities. Pero ang galing nyo sa Cebu, I can't believe. How did you guys not have a second wave? What's your opinion? I don't know. Maybe
I don't
only the physicians can tell.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's because of the population density. Definitely, there's a lot more people in your area, like more bigger population. But here, like people do roam around. People are going to beaches, in the malls. Like right now, I'm here in a co-working space. People are working here, so it's like life's
Wow.
normal, except for the masks, for sure. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool.
We're
Well,
lucky.
that's really good to hear. And so now let's kind of jump in, right? So tell us like the story of ContentDash and how that began.
Oh, sure. I would love to tell that story. So yeah, I would say it started with the whole thing or operations that I'm doing with 30 Media. So way back 2008, if I could start that far, I was a freelancer. I was freshly kicked out of the company that I worked for. Imagine that. I was a developer there. I was fired. Yeah. So I didn't want to look
Boo.
for a job after. Yeah, right. Boo. They lost me. Anyway.
Who would fire
So
you?
yeah. A company like that who doesn't like social media, because the reason they fired me was that I was blogging, Dennis, like people were strict before, like whatever you say about your company, they put that against you. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Right? But right now, everyone could just talk about anyone online. I don't know. Sorry, I said
Yeah.
a word. But
That's okay.
Yeah.
Profanity
I
is
mean,
allowed in our show.
everything is strict before. It wasn't like now where social media is such a rampant, like widespread tool to spread information and disinformation. But back then, that was the life. Like people were strict. Social media wasn't a thing, and I was a victim of that because I love to blog. I love to create content, and they saw my blog. I posted something about the company. They fired me. So that's it. And I told myself, I don't want to go back to working in a corporate setting in a way because I was kind of a rebel as well. So I said, I'll just try to explore what freelancing was like. And at that time, Upwork, no, it was Odesk. Odesk was a huge thing before. So I said, I'll just try this out, try it out for a couple of months, see if I can like get my thing going. And eventually I did, because I didn't get out of the platform. I got my clients there. I started, imagine that, Dennis, I started with data entry. I started with research. My rate before was like $2 per hour. It was so definitely not the rate that I'm going with right now. But I started there. Yeah. And then SEO was a huge thing. So I told myself, I don't want to offer SEO. Everyone is doing that thing. And now came the rise of social media marketing, right? So Facebook was a huge thing. No one was offering a service like that. So I said, I'll educate myself. I'll try to learn social media. I'll try to learn how to create content or help businesses in social media. And that's what I did ever since 2008. Um, Offering that service to companies, especially those who are based abroad, it gave me the realization that now I know how to do this in behalf of businesses. I should be offering it to businesses in the Philippines as well. And that's what I did. I registered 30 Media 2010. I offered it to companies here in Cebu. And luckily, like the Cebu community thrived with social media education that I was doing, right? No one knew how to do that. So most of the first companies that I helped in Cebu were literally didn't know how to run social media. So we were pioneers. 30 Media was a pioneer of digital marketing, social media in Cebu. And then from there, the agency grew its portfolio, and now we're in our 11th year, right? So I told
Wow.
myself, yeah,
11 years.
it's a long time. It's a decade. So I told myself, the next big thing that I could do for the industry is really create that platform where a marketing suite, if you would say, where businesses could go in, they could use the tools, they could get the creators that they want, and then just totally professionalize the social media creation process, right? And that's how Content Dash came to be. I contacted Ian, who's my co-founder of Content Dash. I told him, you know what, we should start creating tools for social media creators and businesses. So we
Right.
talked about it, we brainstormed, and then we came up with the MVP. Very bare bones. It was a product that we say, okay, let's start with planning. The process itself of planning content for social media, it's
Mm.
it's hard, right, Dennis? I mean, I'm not sure if Justin was able to do that thing where you have to use Google Sheets just to plan content, right?
Yeah, I do that.
It's hard. I mean, especially for an agency, we're juggling that across several clients, across several projects. So my teammates, the employees that I have, they had a hard time doing that. So I said, there has to be a better way to do this. That inspired me to create Content Dash. Yep.
Cool. Well, cheers to Content Dash, and it is Digital Happy Hour.
Cheers,
So-
cheers.
Hey, what are you drinking?
It's a fruit tea. So this is my favorite
Oh,
actually here in Cebu.
that's not fair. I want one of
Yeah,
those.
fruit tea.
Justin, what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm not drinking anything.
The
But
happy
girl.
hour, right? There,
All right,
cheers.
good. I won't tell you what I've got in here, but anyway, so basically, you guys went from, well, you were employed to unemployed to
Right.
freelancing on one of the freelance marketplace platforms, and then you slowly grew that to adding people to
Right.
create a social media agency, right? And since this is all about helping Philippine MSMEs, what is the importance? What is the connection to content for those companies that, well, clearly everybody has to go digital, right? And for those companies that want to engage and convert their business into some kind of e-commerce business, how important is content? And let's start there.
Right. So that's definitely an ongoing thing that we are dealing with for clients, and we are helping them every day for that. There are clients who come to us and then they would say, can we ask for your rates because we need help with our social media. We need help with our content. We want to focus on business, right? They want to focus on just running their whole operation.
But do people even
creating-
know what content is? I feel like people always say, oh, I need help on social media, but I don't sense they really know what kind of help
What
they really need.
Well, exactly. That's right. Like when social media became a thing, right? And we know that here in the Philippines, if we would look at the numbers, there's like 110 million Filipinos. And now like 67% of us have access to the internet. Did I get my numbers right? Yeah, 67% internet users. But there's 80% penetration for social media. Like, we are a huge social media capital here in the Philippines. Filipinos love social, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
for businesses,
TikTok,
yeah,
TikTok.
like
Ako yun.
business owners see this and then they would say, oh, they're on social media, why don't we bring our thing there, show up and get some customers? So maybe that's the reason why when you talk to entrepreneurs or small business owners, they would say people are on Facebook, let's get out there, let's create our page, and then they stop there. Right, Dennis? I'm not sure if
Exactly.
you see that with your retailers, with your customers in Prosperna, but that's what we see in the agency. They're so excited to create their pages, but then they stop there.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is I don't think really uh, a lot of people have really grasped what good social media really is and how to really properly use content.
Exactly.
So, what are some of the things that when you look at that content and how it fuels social media? What's that process like? What's the ideal process, and like what are the challenges that um, you know small businesses would face in that journey? And maybe
Right.
there's some people in our audience listening that if you guys have questions about content, how to do it, what to do, if what platforms there might be, feel free to throw your questions in the chat. But maybe Flair, give us an idea on what the
Yeah.
process of creating good content is like.
Right. So when you like think of social media as just one of the tools that you use for your business, right? It's a publishing platform. You talk to people online, you get your content out there. That's what you should be doing on social media. But then, like I said, business owners, entrepreneurs, they just stop with creating a page and that's it. So they open a page, they see a blank screen, and what do they see? They see a blank form where you are asked to say what's on your mind. And usually for uh for people like us, if we're doing it for our personal pages, it's as easy as just taking a picture of what you're drinking and then posting it and saying like, I'm having
Selfie,
tea.
selfie.
No, that's easy. That's
Milk
easy.
taste life.
Exactly. But when you are creating content as a business, right? There's a lot of things that have to happen before you actually hit publish. So you have to think about what should you write?
Okay.
When should you post it? Is it
Mhm.
going to be a photo, a video, a slideshow? A lot more questions. And that's on the publishing part, right? That's on the
And it's
content
different
creation part.
on every social media platform, right?
Exactly, right? So you have to think about the platform, you have to think about the content, you have to think about the schedule, right? And and to think that this is just on the content production part. We didn't even mention yet the publishing, the distribution, the insights, analytics, talking to your community, all these things that you have to do. The whole process of content, like social media management itself, it's a long process. And sometimes when I ask business owners, I would show them the slides like, okay, which of these things are you doing, from planning your social media, having your strategy for social, doing production, getting it approved, scheduling it, up until community management, insights, reputation management, and then going back to strategy. If I show them that slide, they usually would say, oh, you know what? Like, I cheat. I don't do all of those things. Like, I skip a lot of that. Because why? What's the reason then is they don't have the resource, right? I mean, you only have so much manpower inside a marketing team to manage the whole process. So what do? They skip a lot of it.
Yeah. So let's like start in the beginning. I would imagine one of the big problems in the very beginning is that I hear a lot is, I don't know what to write, or we don't
Exactly.
know what to say or what to post. So,
That's true.
just on the very basics, what would you say? Let's say, if I was a new customer, right? coming to you guys, and I said, well, what should I write? What advice would you give me to help me determine where I should begin in writing content or telling my story on social media?
Right. Okay. So I usually simplify this by showing the customers the Triple H content model. And
Ooh,
right. And this
Nice.
model, I'm not sure if you've heard of that, Dennis. Have you? This is what
Is that,
YouTubers also follow.
is it the hero
Exactly.
hygiene?
You got that
Yeah,
right,
hero
Justin.
hygiene. Yeah.
there you go.
Yan ng
Just
jacket.
Yeah,
You got that right. Oo.
shot, Justin.
Shots. Well, yeah, that's the hero hub and hygiene
Yeah.
content. So it's like we're gonna show it definitely on the screen, right? It's a triangle. At the top you have your hero, next is your hub, next is your hygiene. So like business owners will say, okay, what the heck is that? I don't understand it. So we simplify it further by saying,
Simple words here.
yeah, like hero is what are your major milestones, promotions, tentpole events? What's the main reason why you are on social media?
Mm.
Right? It's like your one big shot event that you want to promote. Let's say you are launching a new feature for Prosperna. Let's say you activated one really good feature and you want to announce this to the whole world. So that's your hero content. Right? Maybe it's driven by, let's say, a webinar. So you want to promote, like really heavily promote that webinar. So you can consider that as your hero content, right? So
Okay.
now, in order to support your hero content, because you don't want to just continue posting about your event, your webinar, like join our event, that's going to get so spammy on Facebook.
Yeah.
So you right? So what you want to do is you want to support that hero content with hub content. So what is a hub content? Hub content is your series of content, themed content that you want to produce that supports your hero content. So let's say the webinar is about a feature. So talk about, let's say every Monday you talk about Manic Mondays, and then you want to make sure that every single Monday you talk about the same theme of content. But this content has to support your hero content, meaning to say, if it's a certain feature, then maybe Manic Mondays can say, can talk about what, maybe some productive tools so that you make sure that your Mondays are fun instead of boring or stressful. So Manic Mondays, and then you go forward up until Friday or Saturday, Sunday, depending on how much content you want to produce. So Manic Mondays. And then for Tuesdays, like I said to Justin, like Taco Tuesdays. Wednesdays would be your wacky Wednesdays, all up until Friday, you have that themed content created that supports your hero content. Of course, some of these that you produce has to have a call to action that mentions the hero content as well, right? So now you have your hero content, your webinar, you're supporting it with stories, theme stories for every day. That's your hub content. And then you have your hygiene. So your hygiene content is your always on content designed for your core target. Now, hygiene is like you, Dennis, you're the CEO, you're the boss. You want to say, oh, we have to post this ASAP, right? Like we have to post this call to action because we uploaded a new white paper or a new blog post. So you can consider that as your hygiene content because it must be there. This is for your core audience, for your customers, right?
Nice.
So must posts are what you call your hygiene content. So this initial structure, the triangle, can already help the business owners understand, okay, what should I post on social? So the point here is that you shouldn't just talk about sell, right? You also have to inform, to educate, and to entertain. That's where your hub content comes in.
Well,
right?
that right there, I like how you explained the entire steps and process so people can kind of connect the dots. But what you see most of the time is people just pitching their products. And even if you're in the food business or, if you're selling gadgets, they're just posting the products, but they're not, based on what you're saying, connecting the why people would buy this product? Like, what are the things that that product solves? Let's say it's a gadget, right?
Mhm.
And they're not getting into the psychology of what the product does, and then they're just pushing the product first, right?
Which is a
Not
big no-no. Yeah.
how it's made, why it's made, who
Mhm.
it's for, the questions that it answers, right?
Right.
It's just more spam. It's more spam.
No one wants to see that on their feed. That is, no one would like your post. No one would share it. No one would engage on it. And the more you get penalized by the Facebook algorithm, for example, because Facebook in itself, they have this algorithm. I'm not sure if I have it on my materials, but basically what they're saying is when people engage on your post, when they like it, meaning to say other people, right? When they like, engage, share your post, it gives off that signal that your content is quite important, that other people should see it as well.
Yeah.
So now imagine your sell content out there, no one liking it, no one engaging on it, no one resharing. So it doesn't give off that signal to Facebook that your content is important. So definitely they're not going to see that. Your other target
Unless
audience
the
will not
content
see that.
is useful versus
Useful?
just selling,
Yep.
then who would really engage in it?
Exactly.
Right?
Right. So no, yeah, it doesn't activate Facebook's algorithm. That's it.
So
And
basically, 99% of the world, at least here in the Philippines, is doing it wrong.
they are. They are. Most, I wouldn't say like I'm perfect, right? Like most of us are not doing it the right way. But you have to be really smart and find ways to, let's say, hack the Facebook algorithm. So you're seeing people posting, right? And then tagging their friends. What else? Making
Well,
sure
I
that people share it, like it. Yep.
do want to say I hate it when I will create a new connection with somebody, right? I'm happy to connect, right? And grow, like,
Yeah.
like how you and I might have met, right? We met online, and that's great. That's fine and dandy. And then literally like the next day or a few days later, that person would tag me. This, consistently happens, in the real estate industry, right? And they would,
Real estate, huh?
yeah, and they would tag me on, pre-selling promo, right? And I'm tagged. I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, I feel
Everyone
violated.
sees that for sure. Yeah, you get tagged a lot.
Violated. I'm violated.
But
Just
Dennis, like,
violate ka?
yeah, but do you know that let's say you met someone at an online event because everyone's online now. But let's say like you met someone offline and then you're saying, "Oh, let's exchange cards." We don't say that anymore. Like, add me on Facebook. That's what you would usually say. Now, once you add that person on Facebook, the funny thing that happens with Facebook algorithm is that when you get connected on Facebook, the next time that person posts, you're gonna see their content.
Yeah.
Like 100%, you're gonna see their content. And you know why? You know what's the reason why Facebook is showing you their content?
Why?
Because Facebook wants to test if you are really into that person to the point that you would like their post. And then for the next time that person posts, you're gonna see their content often. That's
So
that's how you trigger the algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're testing to see if it's an authentic connection.
Exactly. Yes.
Because there's a lot of those, click farms and fake likes and stuff out there,
Right.
and then they're just one-time events. They're kind of vanity. They look good, but they don't really provide you any real business value. Wait, I have a quick question on this. So, I've been trying to test and play around with the Facebook algorithm.
Ooh, what did you find out?
Here's something that I noticed that I'm curious if you can validate or not. So let's say, to your point, I've got this hero idea or concept or piece of information that I know, because I do some mini planning, that I know I want a lot of attention to next week. Right? So what I do 2 to 3 days before, is I think of the target audience that's for.
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 days before, I start really engaging with those people. I'll just make a comment on their post,
Right.
ask them a question on their post, right? I'll like their post, right? And then I kind of build it up. And then when my, as you call it, that hero post comes out, I seem to see the likes and visibility and the engagement go up versus just going out and posting that hero and doing nothing.
Exactly. So it's like you have to create the tension first, right? Before you
So-
release the one big thing.
Is that a good hack? Did I hack it?
It is. And the reason why, Dennis, is because when people start engaging on your own post, even if it's like something silly or like something fun, like clickbait, that. Like,
Yeah.
But
When
then,
you start posting stuff or engaging with people with puppies and kittens and everybody
right,
goes,
exactly.
and then after
That's why
that,
people post that.
then
it's
after
like
that
you're-
you throw out there,
Right.
oh, this is Prosperna. We're full of puppy love, and
That's a good build up, right? Exactly. I mean, you actually said it yourself. That's a good hack for the algorithm of Facebook. So you have to build it up first, and then you release your hero content, and then you're gonna see the same people engaging on your posts. Like, don't tell them. Oh, actually, tell them because we want the customers to know that this is what they should be doing online. This is what they should be doing on Facebook, engaging with their potential followers, creating that authentic connection. Because if you just rely on content, and this is what we always say, Dennis, with our customers, like, don't rely on us. I mean, the content that we create is fine and good because that's your own content, right? But remember that there are other facets to doing social media. You have to have your earned media, which is people liking your post, sharing it, engaging in it, commenting. There's also the paid media, right? Like, you have to pay Facebook for them to show your ads to a lot of people. There's that three component itself, and the ones that we're creating as a social media agency, we're more of an execution agency, so we create the content for you. Like, don't rely on just the content. You have to go out there and do the earned media part, and then you have to pay Facebook for the owned media part, right? This whole dynamic of getting your content out there, publishing it and distributing it, that's the part that they miss mostly.
that's another problem right there.
Right.
Is people, SMEs don't understand the connection of all of those three, levers, right? Anong levers, Justin, sa Tagalog?
Hindi ko sure.
Ako,
Push button na lang. Ayan.
push button.
Button.
Push button. Tama? Push button. Oh,
Yun na lang. Oo.
Hindi sila nagre-recognize yung mga push button.
Right.
Tama.
So, some of them think that just because you create content, yan, okay na siya. Diba? You just let it let it out there on your page and then you're done, which is basically not not a good thing to do. Sorry. Not a good thing to do. Kasi kulang pa eh. You have to do more. Like, there has to be more. Ayan.
Yeah. Justin, are you doing any of those with your, women's activewear IG shop? By the way, Fleire, nag-activewear ka ba?
Oh gosh. We call it, what did they call that ba ngayon? Like, when you're at home, like you lounge around, tapos naka-sportswear ka.
Loungewear.
Loungewear. Oo. Oo,
Yung
yes.
sports bra and pants, parang leggings more can be used at home na.
At home, diba?
May it's activewear pero yung activewear siya pero yung niya, fabric niya is different from the usual dry fit activewear.
Next happy hour, we'll do a loungewear fashion show.
Diba?
Yes. Okay. No, so Justin, what do you do? Do you do any of this with your little home-based apparel business?
Yeah, I actually the way even though I invest kasi ngayon mostly organic lang ako since yung budget ko for Facebook ad is limited. I try not to do direct selling. Like for example, I have meme Fridays, and for Sundays parang ano siya, well basically ang whole theme ko of course is my activewear, pero activewear and fitness. Like
Right.
I post TikTok videos of me working out or about funny situation na nagwo-workout ako. For example, kinancelan ako ng
Anong channel mo? Tingnan natin.
meron talaga ako like mga workout videos, tapos pinopost ko lang siya sa ano ko, social media ko. Kaya also I opened my TikTok because I wanted yung more parang channel pero hindi siya direct selling.
Yeah, but
Diba?
hold on a second. Flair, you tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, or Justin, you mentioned something. You mentioned that you're doing more organic social media because you don't have budget.
Yeah.
I would
Mahal
say,
din eh. Facebook
Well,
is expensive.
hold on.
Ads.
Right? I think I might be challenging
Yeah.
both of you
Oh, go.
because for me, I would just encourage you to look at it a little different. Instead of looking at it as money spent and budget, right?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what is your time worth? Kung
Right.
ikaw magpo-post, right? How much time does that take, right? If you're gonna, create the content, fresh content every time, if you're gonna create the captions every time,
Right.
right? That's not cheap either.
It's
Your
not.
time is freaking money.
Mhm.
So if the Facebook or Instagram ads, if you budget 50 or 100 pesos per day for 4 days, are you telling me that your time is not worth 400 pesos to get in front of 10,000 people? Could you get in front of 10,000 people for free?
Yeah.
Tama.
Tama naman.
So I just encourage you, not to, beat you up, right? And I encourage other MSMEs to stop thinking about it as budget, wala akong pera.
Right.
You don't have time. You have less time than you do money.
Do it. Exactly.
Right? And because you'll never get in front of that many people. Now, if we circle back and we use all of the mga push button that Flair described, what we noticed is we get more organic traffic. When we do organic social media posts and we build up and we add some ads,
Right.
I see that line in that metric of our organic searches and our organic clicks. I see that increases,
Oh, totoo.
It does.
right? Because it also takes MSMEs and consumers 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 times before they go, oh, mukhang legit yan, tingnan ko, right? So most MSMEs die before they get to their 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or 6th post because they have quit or because naisip nila, may budget, ayoko maggastos.
Right.
And when they're losing opportunity because they're not doing all of these things, and someone else is beating them.
Their competitors are out there. They're more active on social media. They're posting consistently. They're spending on ads. They're engaging in influencers. They're talking to their community. So that's why yung mga MSMEs natin, they really have to go out there and do something, right? Don't be satisfied with just posting. That's my challenge, diba? Like even if you do it by yourself, ikaw lang yung post, you have to ask yourself, like, is this even enough? Am I doing enough to get out there? Kasi if you would use that budget, let's say for example, you want to run a radio ad. I don't know if everyone listens to radio na ngayon, di ba? Podcast na tayo ngayon. Usually.
Podcast.
Or if you want to spend all of your budget into a newspaper ad, Probably that could help, but you don't even have the assurance that people actually saw your ad dun sa newspaper mo, di ba? Compared pag dito tayo sa online natin, you can see every single data kung ilan yung nakakita ng post mo, ilan ba talaga yung nag-like, nag-engage, di ba? And from there you gauge your content, if tama ba yung mga graphics na ginagamit mo, tama ba yung mga captions mo, and then you take a look at um, what else? Tama ba yung mga community na target mo? Let's say you're running ads, di ba? Baka hindi naman tama yung targeting mo. So all of these challenges really has to be thought of in terms of your strategy and your tactics for social media.
That's awesome. Well, real quick, just to summarize before we take a break, and then I want to jump into and hear about ContentDash. Number one, sounds like you got a great, amazing story of just number one being persistent and sticking with the whole digital for 10, 11 years now.
Right.
And, starting your business and, helping MSMEs understand what the real process is for content, what the real process is that really works for social media. So next, when we come back from the break, let's talk about ContentDash and that awesome piece of social media software that you created specifically for Philippine MSMEs. So, Justin, anything before we go to our break?
We'll catch you later, Prosper Nation.
Hello everyone, this is Vincent Torre Bongolan. I founded eTech International to cover the demands in the online space, wherein we envision to deliver seamless, fastest, and cost-effective delivery of products and services.
Hi, this is Gretchen Ronquillo of Alecena Manila. We'd love for you to try our fine dinnerware and other dining items. Alecena Manila brings to you beautifully curated items focusing on your home festivities. Please visit our website at www.alesenamanila.com.
Hi, this is Jonas from James and Daughters, and we would love for you to try our handmade noodles because we want you to have a long life. And that's why I'm inviting you to try our April promo called Buy One Give One, wherein if you order one of our handmade signature Hokkien noodles or Hokkien mee, we'll send you a second one to share to somebody you care about or somebody who deserves it. For more information, try jamesanddaughtersph.com, made possible by prosperna.ph. Thank you guys.
Hi, I'm Roberto Carlos Rapol, owner of Somas. Today, I'd like to show you our products such as Crazy Carabao, Monkey Eagle, Crow's Craft Brewery, and we also got liquors such as rum, gin, wines, and many more. But not only that, we also sell THC chips, locally made here in the Philippines. So hurry, come visit us at somas@south.com.
So before we start, meron kaming surprise sa inyo mga Philippine MSMEs. So in partnership with ContentDash, we will be giving out a micro plan na worth 5,000 pesos, a 1-month plan with 1 weekly content. So paano tayo sasali? First, this is open sa lahat ng may business dyan, micro, small, big. You can sign up here. Yung sign up will be in the description. You must be RSVP in this digital happy hour, and you must like, comment, and share this digital happy hour stream with your friends. And also you should follow Prosperna and ContentDash on Facebook. The deadline of the entries ay sa May 26th, and we will be announcing the winners on Prosperna page sa May 28th.
Cool. So basically, Fleire, you've got this digital agency that focuses on social media, and you guys have created this really cool software that's a cloud software application called ContentDash that will help people create, manage, and publish their content on social media. Hence, the awesome what is it? A promo giveaway? Is that right?
Yes,
Just
ContentDash
Yes.
giveaway.
there you go.
Yes. We're giving
That's
that out for your customers to enjoy social media content without any headache at all.
There you go.
Sign up
Now,
now,
I will tell you that
Prosperna.
Mm-mm.
it's really important these days for Philippine MSMEs to take a look at their entire operation, right? From marketing, sales, accounting, inventory, social media, just your Gmail, for crying out loud, right? MSMEs are going to be using more and more software, whether you like it or not, right? The software industry is penetrating every aspect, every department, payments, right? And so you guys offer something that's just part of many of those areas to help them improve how they market and sell on social media. So what is ContentDash?
Right. So ContentDash, it is a social media management system. We call it that. But then knowing our MSMEs, Dennis, they just don't come for the tool, right? They stay for the service, they stay for the community, and they stay for the content itself. That is why instead of offering just the tool to plan their content, what we're basically offering right now is the social media content itself. So we have two plans in Content Dash. We call it the micro plan and then the small plan. So what the micro plan would do is remember our hub content where you have to have a consistent content for a day with a theme. You can just grab a micro plan from Content Dash, and then what our creators would do for you is assure you that you
Oh.
have a created content on your platform on a weekly basis. So what we're offering right now is really the content itself. So may assured ka na na content na lalabas dun sa Facebook page mo every single week for a specific day of the week na may theme na. Diba?
Okay.
So it removes that headache from creating the content itself and planning it, making the captions, making the graphics. Someone will do that for you inside Content Dash. So that's
Okay.
the micro plan. And it's
Wait,
only as oo.
Before you go forward, I just want to make that clear. So it's not just the software; it's the
Right.
content writing and publishing service, creating the
It's the
caption,
content itself. Yes.
even the images,
Mm-mm.
along with the software application. So that's like a full service, tool plus the we do it for you. I like that.
Exactly.
That's very
Yes,
Prosperna.
Dennis. Right. Yeah, because I listened to you, Dennis, and I heard you. And this is what our entrepreneurs would definitely need. So, dun sa microplan, you don't have just the content. We create the content for you. And then meron ka ng tool to monitor kung ano yung ipapublish mo na content this week, ano yung lalabas next week. Diba? So, may assured ka na lalabas na content dun sa page mo. And
So Justin,
oo.
wala ka ng mga excuses, ha?
No excuse to not create content anymore. We take care of that for you. No more headaches at all. Oo. So right now, Dennis, meron na kaming network of content creators. And the good thing about this, eto ha, I'll inform this Prosperna. Like I will announce this on Prosperna itself. The first time that we are announcing this dito pa lang sa happy hour nyo is that one of the things that makes Content Dash really good is because our content creators are localized. So they can create content in your vernacular. Imagine our creators having the capacity to create Spanish basic language. They can write in Bisaya. They can write in Ilonggo, Bicolano, Hiligaynon, whichever vernacular you want. They are inside our platform.
That's
So,
you.
sila yung gagawa ng content for you. So, wherever you are in the Philippines, we will match you with a content creator that will be perfect for your business, wherever you are located. So, and it's only as low as 5,000 per month. May assured ka na content every week.
Well, I mean, what would you rather be at a mall where there's no foot traffic, right?
Exactly, right?
On social media where that's where everybody is. And if you happen to choose social media, you really can't be on social media unless you have content, and then unless you have good content, and unless you have consistently good content. So that's, in a way, ContentDash, right?
It is, Dennis. You got
Okay.
that right.
I love that. And I mean, you couldn't hire someone to do that for you for 5,000 per month.
You cannot. If you would engage an agency like us, Dennis, we would charge you 25,000 per month. That's our minimum. If you would approach freelancers, or let's say you want to hire full-time for a staff, that would cost you like what, 30,000, 45,000 per month, right? That's so expensive. But let's say you just need a consistent content every week, right? In a specific theme for your page. You can just go to ContentDash. 5,000 per month, that's nothing, right? In exchange for consistent, high quality, affordable content on your page. That's your first step to getting out there and reaching out to your customers online.
Well, I just have to circle this back because I'm sorry, man. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are just too freaking cheap. And I just, they have got to change that mentality. I mean, look at how you would never be able to hire someone to do this. You can contemplate and get stuck with writer's block. Try to do it yourself, and then you'll just talk yourself out of not doing it, and then madadala yung success nyo, as a small business, right? We try to help encourage MSMEs to go out there and take action, because there's traffic, there's consumers, there's business out there, and there's a way to do it right, and there's trusted partners. That's why you're here, because after having gotten to know you, that I know that you know what you're doing, and that our Prosper Nation would trust the quality and service that you guys can deliver, right? So yan, Justin, mag-sign up ka na.
Sign up na kayo, guys. Grabe.
Teka, Justin, how's the promo? How does it work again? Anong kailangan?
They must have a business, doesn't matter kahit micro lang sila or small. They must follow Prosperna and ContentDash on Facebook, follow and like. And then they should be RSVP'd to this digital happy hour. And lastly, they should like, comment, or tag a friend in the live stream.
So if I do those things as a Philippine MSME, if you're out there watching, if you follow those instructions, then I'm sure, let's show exactly where they would go to get that.
Yeah.
Right? But if they do those things, they can get from ContentDash and Fleire, what? Anong reward nila?
Yes, we're raffling off, like we're not assuring everyone who will sign up. Yeah, it's your ticket to getting one of the 3 micro plans that we are giving away.
3 lucky
so
winners.
You can get 3 lucky winners will get a micro plan, which will assure you of a weekly content. And it is also your way to try out our offer sa ContentDash. And if you like it, you can continue your subscription, and we can help you with your social media content.
That's pretty good. I know I can probably sense a lot of people out there going, shit, sige, go na.
Yes.
Sana may form. Sign up na.
We're excited to help you guys. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I love to see that, you guys are a small business and starting new creations to serve and, to help empower our country, our nation. I saw this interesting article. It was just a week ago or so. The DTI had published the most recent statistics on how many new small businesses were registered from the period of January 2020 to March.
Middle of the lockdown. Yeah.
Well, wait, before we got to the lockdown, right? But the first quarter of the lockdown, right? January to March 2020, there was only about 1,700 businesses, new businesses that were registered under the DTI. 1,700, right? So if you multiply 1,700 times 4 quarters, let's just say the average is 1,700. So in a typical year, right, there's only almost 8,000 customers, or 8,000 SMEs that were newly created and registered in a typical year. They reported 88,000 new businesses registered.
Wow.
And majority of them were some sort or some form of online business. So for those of you out there that might be a new business, you should really be paying attention to how important content is. For Prosperna, we would not exist if it wasn't for, content creation, content management, and doing it right. Fleire, you mentioned the process and how academic and systematic it is, and we didn't know we were really doing it that way. But I think all that proves is it is, number one, what you mentioned is true, because it's in fact worked for us, and we actually started doing content before we launched Prosperna, because we were trying to connect with people before, and so that also should show Philippine MSMEs how important content is, right? So anyway, if that's some encouragement for those of you watching, definitely, heed the importance and throw in your questions out there. If you guys have any questions, since we've got the experts here. So before we get into the Q&A, let's circle back on closing out the ContentDash story, and tell us what's the future of ContentDash. What are you guys going to be doing to help Philippine MSMEs more and more out there?
Right. So the vision for ContentDash is to really help the MSMEs create content better and faster. So what we're going to do in the next few months, it will be to grow our network of creators so that we can do vernacular content for you. So wherever you are in the Philippines, bisan o gusto mong Bisaya ang content or Tagalog or in English, then you can all plan that out with your creator inside ContentDash, right? So that's one. And then later on, we're going to add more micro content, a way for you to publish your posts, like scheduling, analytics. We're going to do all that inside the platform. But for now, we have your creators. We have a way for you to plan the content, and it's ready for you.
Awesome. Ready and done for you.
Yep.
Si Fleire ang bahala sa...
Oo. Bahala sa inyo.
Justin, ha?
Excited
Cool.
na.
So, now let's go ahead. Justin, is it okay? Can we jump into some of the questions out there? I know there's been a lot of folks kind of, chomping at the bit, right? So.
Okay, so some of the questions are, why do companies in general going digital? Why is content important for them?
Okay, so that's a bit of a recap, but go ahead, Fleire.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically content is important because if you don't create content, people will not know about you. So dapat na gumagawa kayo ng mga posts, not just on your Facebook page, but on your other profiles as well. Just for your customers to know that you are indeed a legit business and that you're still alive. Kasi di ba may mga business na nag-shutdown, yung mga ganun. So if they look at your page, they would know na, okay, they're active, I will buy from them.
Yeah, it's kind of like content to me. It's almost like electricity. Without electricity, you cannot keep the lights on in your business.
That's a good analogy.
It's the fuel. It's the must-have. So for our clients, that use the Prosperna online store builder, I'm sorry to break it to you, and I wish I had superpowers. I wish Prosperna had the superpowers, but certainly an online store is really, really important, because to me, that's the car. But if you don't have gas, i.e. the content to put into the car, you know, how do you say it in Tagalog, Justin, that your car will not go anywhere?
Hindi, walang pupuntahan.
Okay, thank you. Right?
Gagana yung car mo. Yun.
Oo,
Pag wala
walang
kang fuel. So,
Hindi magagana.
content is your
Hindi
fuel. Yun.
Magagana? Or I don't know. Anyway, my Tagalog is horrible. All right, Justin. So that's a good one out there. What's the
Okay.
next question that we have on the Prosper Nation channel?
Okay, so somebody asked, what are the some types of posts that I can create for as a beginning social media when I begin my social media?
Okay, so to me, that's content ideas, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So not to put you on the spot, but like I'm sure since you do this and your team does this every day, like, you know, there's like a gazillion things that people could write about. You know, can you spout off some good ones that when people get stumped, oh, ganito, oh, ganyan. Like, what are some good ideas?
Right. So one good idea is to actually look at your current trending news because it's a fresh
true.
way for you to get content that is relevant for your audience. So one example is that we were managing a transportation company page. Tapos nagtrending yung isang babae na nagdala ng maleta, naka-red siya. Di ba? So naging trending yun. So what we did is we took that photo niya, tapos nilagay namin sa transpo, tapos sinabi namin na, okay, she's going to use our transpo to get to where she wants to go or something like that. So we created a caption for that. We recreated the graphics. And then that post itself on the page, it became trending. Kasi we're riding on a trending topic. But you have to be really careful about this strategy, because it could backfire for your brand. But that's one easiest way. Like, what's the current trending topic and does it relate to your audience? Magagamit ba nila yung trending topic mo na naka-ride on yung brand mo? So, you can take a look at that. That's one, ha? There's a lot, but that's the easiest that I can think of na gagawin nyo. Oo.
Well, that's if you're stumped for ideas, just see what the top news is.
Yes.
In your feed, and you know, comment or write your opinion, right? Or better yet, you know, discuss how that, you know, trending topic relates to your business,
Your brand, your business.
right? Your brand. So, yeah, if I could just add to that, you know, buying online requires trust, right? And ultimately, getting someone to purchase from you, you know, clearly that's the goal. But the question is, how do you get from someone not knowing your brand to resulting in to trust that results into a purchase? So to me, you know, some great topics, and I don't know, tell me what you think about this, you know, are things like, hey, you know, let us walk you through what are the women's sportswear, activewear, what are the materials that our stuff is made of?
Exactly.
Right? Let us walk you through who our fitment size chart is really for, right? You know, you might as well tell people who your product is for, how it's made, because a good customer is going to already ask those questions.
Yes. Your FAQ is a gold mine of topics as well. Like, what are the common questions of your customers? Create a micro content around that, and that can be your initial content. So, like what Dennis said, yung sinabi niya, pwede kang mag-zoom in dun sa product mo or mag-zoom out ka sa industry or who your customer is. What are their lifestyle like? What is it like to be an active woman, diba? So, zoom out and then you can also zoom in dun sa products, materials, ano yung ginagamit, what is it even helpful for the environment, maybe you know, there are women who are interested in that kind of topic. So you can use that strategy as well, yung sinabi ni Dennis na zoom in and zoom out. Yep.
Ooh, I like that. Zoom in, zoom out.
Yep.
In, out. Okay.
Don't just
cool.
focus on your product. Zoom in, zoom out. That's it.
That's awesome. That's great. So I think you know, we're getting close to the end, but maybe, I don't know, is there one other good question that we have out there, Justin?
Yeah, we actually have. So Somebody also asked that in terms of becoming successful in content and social media marketing, is there any training that they should have or any skills that they need?
Okay.
Right. Oo. Dennis, what
You know,
do you think?
I would, training and learning is obviously very important, but I would just say don't let it stop you. You know,
Yeah.
action, moving forward, taking steps, trying things, that to me is more important than, mag-training muna ako, or,
Correct.
lagyan ko yung perfect picture, ayoko yung lighting, you know, you're wasting time trying to get perfect. And the reality is just go. Whatever
Just
you've
go.
published, you can always replace if you don't like how someone reacts to it or it's not exactly what you like. But you can iterate and change it. So for me, it's just take what's in your head. Take what you would normally have as a conversation with your potential customers and, sulatin mo. And then if you write all of it down and then you just chop it in pieces, right? And then you have all of a sudden 10 pieces of content, right? I don't need training for that.
True.
How about you,
Once
Fleire?
you do that, then you become advanced. And then I'm sure Fleire has a lot of,
I can limit it to 3 because I know it might be easier this way, but yeah, like maybe like last tips that I can leave
Yeah.
the customers of Prosperna is like, first, create your consistent content. You really have to go out there and be consistent. Like just because you posted tapos walang nagla-like or nag-engage doesn't mean you should stop. You should create consistent content. Let them anticipate na every Monday meron pala silang live, 'di ba? Or like every Monday meron pala silang post about the product itself. Ayan. So let them anticipate by creating consistent content. Every Monday meron kang theme, every Tuesday up until Friday. Ayan. That's the first. The second is go back to your own earned and paid media kasi if you just create your content tapos maybe wala kang mga ads or wala kang engagement with the community, you should work on that as well para spread yung content mix mo. Diba? And then the third and last one is exactly what Denny said. You have to go out there and experiment. Kasi pag if you're not brave enough, if you overthink as well kung ano yung ipopost mo, that's not gonna fare well. You really have to experiment and try and just go out there and talk to your customers on social media. And then you will figure out ano ba yung talagang magandang ipopost mo that will convince them to buy from you instead of the competitor. Diba?
I love it. That is excellent way to summarize. Now, again, Justin, before we wrap up, I know there's a lot of people out there that are still interested in that ContentDash raffle. So explain the mechanics. Isa pang beses. And then let's wrap up.
Okay. So before we end, I'd just like to reiterate again the mechanics of the ContentDash giveaway. First, dapat meron kang business. Doesn't matter if you're micro or small. You can join this giveaway, and then you should follow Prosperna and ContentDash on Facebook, as well as you have to be RSVP'd to this digital happy hour, and you have to like, comment, or tag a friend in this live stream. And the sign-up sheets will be in the description dito sa Digital Happy Hour stream na to. So you can check that out with the mechanics and you can also sign up there. And the deadline of the entries are sa May 26 and ang announcement ng winners sa Prosperna page will be on May 28. We'll be choosing 3 lucky winners.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
sali na.
All right, Prosper Nation, let's go. Get your content game on. Sige na. All right. So,
excited for you guys. Yeah. Come and join. Yeah.
True.
For you too. So, Flair, thanks again for being on
Thank you,
Prosper
Dennis.
Nation
Thank you,
Digital
Claire.
Happy Hour, and we hope to see you in person soon.
Soon, yes.
The ContentDash family and friends. And Justin, any other thoughts?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to the Prosper Nation for once again tuning into the Digital Happy Hour, and we hope na marami kayong natutunan today and marami rin kayong insights na gain, and alam ko na excited na tayong lahat to sign up for the raffle promo. So we'll see you next week for another episode of Digital Happy Hour.
Go Prosper Nation. See ya.
Bye, Prosper
Thank you.
Nation.